Excited to be here. Great event. Kudos to the Annenbergs, to Mrs. Annenberg for putting it on, and Leonard and his whole team for getting you all down here. They asked me to tell you a quick story about storytelling. So that's what I'm going to do. About, gee whiz, 6 years ago, I was working in the public health world. And I'd started along with my partner, the great Bono, singer from U2, an advocacy organization called One. And we're doing political advocacy. And then we decided, you know, we need to get a brand. And we need this brand because the Global Health Fund wasn't raising any money from the private sector. And if we license the brand to companies, we'll be able to get money, kind of like Paul Newman's salad dressing. We'll give our share of the money. So we invented this brand, which we called Red, because it was an emergency. Thank you. And we hustled around trying to develop the brand attributes and what we're going to do and what our mission statement was and so on. And we tried to sell to we went to 55 corporations. 4 said yes. American Express, Gap, Armani, and Converse, a division of Nike. And then a few months later, Apple and Motorola. And we launched this in America on Oprah's show, and Oprah and Bono went shopping in the street in Chicago, and it was a big hit, and blah, blah, blah. But, which was good. You know, it raised a lot of money. And we kept trying to tell the story, because our goal was not only to raise the money, but it was to tell the story of the problems of public health in Africa, particularly the problems affecting women who have HIV, which they get from their husbands, because you can't refuse your husband, and you can't tell your husband to wear a condom. So it was a really serious business that we had not only the money-raising agenda, but we were trying to tell the story. They didn't work as well as we hoped. And then one day, I went up to see our partner, the great Steve Jobs at Apple. And we had just done an issue of Vanity Fair, which we call the Red issue. And in that, we had taken photographs of women, sort of the before and after picture. One picture is a woman looking almost dead. And then 60 days later, after she'd gotten the medicine and took the medicine every day, the ARVs, she looks quite alive and like a normal person. And we called this the Lazarus effect, the coming back to life. And he had this magazine, and I came in and sat down, blah, blah. And he said to me, look, you know, all this stuff you're doing, it's all ridiculous. You got to stop it. It's a waste of time, waste of money. It's not convincing anybody of everything. This is your story right here. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, these photos right here. This is, no one knows this. I said, no, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that if you have HIV and you take a piece of medicine, Magic Johnson is alive, right? Everybody knows that Magic Johnson takes a pill. So otherwise he'd be dead. He goes, no, they don't know that. And you're making a mistake by thinking that, and all the stuff you're doing is based on that assumption, and it's all not very good. I'm not kidding, he really did say that to me. A little more bluntly than that, Len told me I'm not allowed to say what he actually said. He's great at iPhones, but I know public health and I know public advocacy. I know what I'm talking about. I rode back down on the plane. I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll try that. And with a colleague of mine who's actually here somewhere, Bicknock Cows, sitting here somewhere, we went down to a little, over there, a little studio in Santa Monica, and we took these photos, and we just put them up next to each other, and we animated them a little bit. But that's all. We put this little video, which we're going to show you in a minute, on the internet, and the thing immediately had 2 million hits in like 3 days with no publicity whatsoever, because it just was a viral thing. And people really, it turned out he was right, and of course I was wrong. That's really, all my siblings would like a copy of that piece of footage where I say I was wrong. But he was right and I was wrong. And I guess, I hope the point of my story is that when you're working in these types of projects, what your story is to you may not be what your story is to the people you're trying to work with, external funders or people you're trying to get into your network or to work with you. And therefore having, I mean, we were very lucky, of course, to have Steve Jobs tell us what our story was. But there are other people as clever, I hope, as Steve around. And to listen carefully to them when they say to you, look, you're making a mistake here. The real story of New Road School is X, or the diaper network is Y. And if you're the executive director of those things or the CEO, to really listen and think, you know what, I could be wrong. I'm so deep in the story that my assumptions are not getting through. So Here is the video, which quickly show that Steve forced me to make, and you can see why he was a genius.
In about 60 days, an HIV patient in Africa can go from here to here. We call this transformation the Lazarus effect. It's the result of 2 pills a day taken by an HIV/AIDS patient for about 60 days. Learn more about how you can help give people this chance at life at joinred.com.
So sell the magic and figure out where the magic is in your store. That's my thing for the night. God bless you all.